everybody, good afternoon. This is Jean here, Jean Truelove from Truelove Quilts for You. I hope you're doing well. Just checking in to say hello to everybody. I'm going to be finishing up the next couple videos, 2 videos or so, with the last of my Truelove Challenge quilt entries. As you know, back about 6 months ago, my friend Jen and I, we sort of made a challenge that you guys were going to be using the 6 fabrics or 5 of the 6 fabric that I chose, or whatever fabrics that you could choose, and submit quilts. It wasn't a contest, as you know. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. I have 3 here that I'm going to be doing, and again, I do have several more in the next couple videos to finish up because the deadline was in March. But right for now, I just wanted to tell you, I'm really on a bit of a high right now. It's Sunday afternoon, and my family, or my husband Ian and Maxwell and I just came back from our meeting. We're Jehovah's Witnesses, and we just came back from our Kingdom Hall and meeting with the congregation. Why we were excited about it and why I'm excited about it is, for the first time in 2 years, we are meeting with our brothers and sisters as of April 1st, but today is our first Sunday meeting. We have 2 meetings a week with our congregation for our Bible studies, and when the pandemic hit immediately, to keep everyone safe and for the well-being of the community, we stopped coming to our meetings, which is an integral part of our worship, twice a week at our Kingdom Halls, the actual building, and we started to resumed our meetings. We didn't really miss a beat doing it via Zoom. Also, our ministry was done that way because, as you probably know, we knock on people's doors with good news. We just want to impart good news that the Bible holds out for us. We live in such a wicked world. We were letter writing and telephone witnessing, so that as I said, we didn't miss a beat. But today was so special, because we got the chance to go back to our Kingdom Hall, back to meet with our brothers and sisters in person, masked, absolutely, and whether people were comfortable with either a fist bump or an elbow bump or a hug, whatever it may be, because the whole point was to keep the community safe, because the most important thing is the sanctity of life. That's what we're trying to do, keep everybody safe. We are not yet resumed our door-to-door ministry. Maybe you guys will have had a letter sent to you through the mail, through somebody anonymous. But we're just trying to share some good news from the Bible, from the scriptures. So we were just so thrilled. We were really nervous. I had to put on shoes. And if my fellow witnesses are out there, my brothers and sisters, you realize how big a deal it was. I haven't worn shoes in 2 years. And I'm thinking, oh no, they're going to pinch. But I don't know. I felt like Holy Spirit on me, and like my shoes didn't pinch. And it was just so lovely. It was just so wonderful having our in-person meetings and meeting with our brothers and sisters. Absolutely awesome. So I just wanted to share that. right now, I am going to be sharing 3 more my Truelove Challenge quilt entries. And again, if you're new here, these were the 6 fabrics that I had chosen. They were funky. There was like a red paisley and a stripe and a sort of a batik-y all over rainbow batik, a blue sort of a pattern like a focal fabric, the white dot, like a multicolored dot. This has hearts on it, and then a red and white dot. And again, I keep telling you, you're going to get bored hearing me about this challenge. If the people couldn't find these fabrics, which some of them were very quickly sold out, they chose fabrics that were similar to. And as you know, I've shared quite a few of these quilts. But this one is an interesting one. This is from Alice from Michigan. You know who you are. I thought this was interesting, and you'll see why I'm going to say this. Hi, Jean. Thank you, Jen, for inspiring our dear Jean to do this challenge. I don't know. I didn't want to do it, but Jen was like, ooh, go do it. I love this challenge from start to finish because I wouldn't think to put so many different fabrics together. This is interesting. I'm a traditional Moda kind of girl. Now, Moda is a fabric line that does really beautiful. Some of the fabric lines are really traditional, but I think when I was looking at Alice's quilt, I'm thinking, and you guys will see that, with these funky fabrics that are from all sorts of manufacturers, there is a traditional, almost Moda, if you know what I mean, look to Alice's quilt. Well done. My quilt is 36 by 39. The quilting in pattern is a serpentine stitch. I've spent many hours of placing my 9 patches to make sure my color placement was well distributed. Good job, Alice. There was a lot of firsts for me. I've never done a 9 patch or a square on point. I've never ever quilted my own quilts or sewn on my own bindings or made a label. I did this challenge for fun, and I'm going to keep this quilt to remind me of what I can do if I try. That was the whole point of it. Wow. I came to quilting after my first bout with cancer, in the late 50s, and the bug hit me. I love it. This was my 6th quilt I've made to date. But my stash continues to grow. Whose stash doesn't? Thank you for your videos, encouragement, and the time you can give to us. We can grow and enjoy our own quilt making process. Absolutely super, 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 super job. Alice from Michigan, you've done a really lovely job. And again, I just think my funky fabrics, your placement, your traditional Moda type of gal, and this is what you came up with. Well done. My next quote is from Robin. Robin, you know who you are. Hello, Jean. I just remembered that the deadline is almost here for the challenge quilt. That was back in March the 15th. I've had to finish it, but I had to quickly take photos. I've started several projects since, and it fell into the back burner of my to-do list. The star, you'll see what I'm talking about, which includes 5 of the challenge fabrics, is English Paper Pieced, EPP. I know you stay as far away as possible from hand sewing, but I enjoy it and usually have at least one hand sewing project going at all times. Wow. Good for you, Robin. I will give you every single one of my hand sewing projects. Oh, my husband wanted a jacket sewn. I'm like, nah, get a new one. He wanted me to repair it. I'm like, what's that expression? Asking a quilter to mend clothes is like asking Picasso to paint your garage. Yeah. The star was hand appliqued in the dark red background. Then the rest was done by machine. I did the free motion quilting, then washed and dried it for the crinkle look. It ended up 39 by 44 because I kept adding borders until I was happy with the way it looked, or as you say, it evolved. I call it my Western Star because the paisley print on the dark red feels like a cowboy bandana. That's the print. And boy, oh boy, Robin, you've really made use of that print. I was able to get the actual stripe, medallion print, and rainbow batik fabrics that you specified, but the red, white dot and the red background paisley are substitutions. This project was indeed a challenge because I would not have chosen these fabrics to be a team, but it ended up being a cute wall hanging. Honestly, the colors spoke to each other better than I thought. Thank you for taking the time to organize this for all of us and for all your videos. I feel like all of the Trueloves are lovely people. Aw, thank you so much. And I enjoy hearing about your activities and life's experiences. Thank you, Robin. Toodles, Robin. Super quilt. What a lovely, lovely quilt. That would look absolutely delightful to hang on a wall. Boy, oh boy, you've done a really good job. Fantastic. I love that. Because red is primary there, and red's my favorite color. So here, guys, is Robin's quilt. My next quilt is from Karen. Karen, you know who you are. Dear Jean, I'm attaching the photos of my finally finished quilt. It truly was a challenge as the fabric choices were much different than I normally use, and I still consider myself a beginner. I think that was the general thread through this whole challenge. These fabrics. And again, when Jen was suggesting to me, oh, let's do the challenge, I'm like, I don't know. Usually the challenges from different fabric manufacturers are the same fabric manufacturer. They do a line and they all go beautifully. These didn't really go at all. So that was the challenge. I started quilting 4 years ago. Good on you, Karen. I tried to purchase all of the fabrics, but as you know, some fabrics were sold out by the time I placed my order. I couldn't find the burgundy paisley, so I substituted an orange polka dot fabric for the red. I also added a yellow checked fabric and a brown striped fabric. The whole point was to use at least 5 of my challenge fabrics and then to add whatever fabrics you wanted. So every single quilt that's been submitted is completely different, but you can spot, ah, that's that fabric. Oh, there's the polka dot. Oh, there's the batik. So I found the pattern in a magazine. Oh, no, excuse me. With the brown fabric, she ended up using the back side of the fabric, which I thought looked better, being a muted brown instead of the front printed side. Excellent, 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 Karen. That is such a good idea. Fabric has 2 sides. So often I will think, oh, that's a little bit too bright. So I just turn it over and it's, as Karen has said here, it shows a little bit more of a muted tone. So good job, good job. My quilt measures 41 inches square. I found the pattern in a magazine which said the block was a version of Job's Tears. I knew that was the pattern to use as I had been grieving over the death of my mom. Oh, what a shame. She was 90 and had a good long life. Aw, dear bless your mom. Oh, I believe she's now in eternity with our Creator, and the brightness of the quilt's colors remind me of the hope we have in Jesus. We do. Jesus is the light of the world. Anyway, I hope my pictures do it justice. I am a better quilter than a photographer. Thanks for challenging us. If you look real close at the back of my quilt, you will be able to see that I have a messy patch of quilting because my thread came out of the tension disc on my machine and I didn't notice it right away. Been there, done that. I do plan on ripping out that patch and fixing it before I gift it to a friend. How kind. Also, I would love it if you talk how to pick out a good color of thread for quilting. I used a golden brown thread, which I like on the front, and I'm not crazy about it on the back. Do you always use the same color thread for the front and back of your quilts? Your quilts are absolutely stunning, and I hope with more experience to improve my quilting. Many blessings to you and your family. Love, Karen. fabric, thread choices. Most of you know what color thread do I use most of the time. I use white. Now, okay. Most people in quilting will use a either a smoke color or like a dove color, or like a neutral tan in your quilting, and or piecing. I think I use white a heck of a lot. I'm a one-trick pony. I use white on red quilts, right? I don't use white on black quilts, of course I don't. But what can I say? The color has to speak to me, and only if, say you have a multicolor front of your quilt top, I should say, and your back is more of a solid. I never use solids because it hides what ended up with your mess with the thread tension. No, I use a print usually. But if you are using more of a solid, that depends on your quilting stitch quality. That's the whole thing. You don't want you want your tension so that your loops don't show on the front of a darker fabric, if a darker thread if you're using on the back, and your loops don't show on the back if you're using a lighter thread. I hope that makes sense. I know there's probably a science to it, that people do use more of a neutral shade, but I think it's all to do with your actual quilting tension, the quality of your quilting stitch. So don't ask me, I'm no expert, but that's what I would do. Don't use white though on a black quilt. I've been known to do that. So anyway, I just love your quilt entries here. They are so lovely. Again, I have just a few left that I am going to get to. You know who you are if you haven't been named yet. I don't want this to go on too long. But I really, really appreciate it. Karen, Alice, and Robin, your quilts are absolutely delightful. Thank you so very, very much. Again, I've had such a lovely day. Just two things. Our one daughter-in-law, Brianna, was due last week. She has not had her baby yet. Daughter-in-law Sarah is due in almost a week's time, so maybe she'll be early and she'll be late, and they'll have the baby on the same day. We're looking forward to it so much. And then we have another daughter-in-law who's expecting next month. So yeah, the grandchild 17, 18, and 19 will be here very soon. So we're waiting with bated breath for Brianna and Francois. Hopefully maybe we'll get a phone call a bit later that she's going into labor. But it's exciting time. So I've been busy here. Sarah and our son Dominic, who live here, we're living downstairs here. We were looking after the children the other night. It was just so lovely. Really, really nice. So we are doing well. Everything's just going along as it is. We'll keep you apprised of whatever's going on in our life, as you know. But right now, we've had a good morning. It's been wonderful. It was really, really nice. And I just wanted to share that with my friends out there. You understand. So thank you again, folks. I will keep in touch, and I hope you're all keeping safe and well. And as always, love from the Trueloves. Bye.